Hello, everyone. I'm Max Cohn. I'm the director of the NYC Student Film Festival. I'm here with the immensely talented Julia Guest.
Hello, hello.
Uh, Hi, Julia. So I want to dive right into the Julie Guest, by the way. Oh, wait, did I say this yet? Directed the film Most Likely To, which is playing at the
Yes.
NYC Student Film Festival on July 10th at 7:45 p.m. at the Village East Theater. Village East by Angelica Cinema. So come and see it. It's a great
Yes,
film.
it's
Um,
pretty fun.
there were some films that we got that I think we see the film and we're like, and like, the pro me and the programmers, like we saw the film and we're like, yep, there you go. Like like
I'm
like
glad that you guys enjoyed it
like
because
no need for like we tried to like make it fair of like, like, oh, we need to have multiple rounds and we need to have like, but I think like once we saw your film I was just like, there's like it's so funny and so amazing. I was just like, you know
I'm glad you guys laughed.
yes,
That means it's
very,
working.
very funny. So tell us, where did this idea come from? And I guess like what prompted you to make this?
Yeah. So I interned for a production studio called American High, which is in Syracuse. And they create a lot of high school films, high school shorts on TikTok and Instagram. And I was working on one of their films this past summer, which is Summer of '69, which is out now. And I really wanted like to film a high school movie in the studio that I've worked for 2 years. I know that studio in and out, and I was just like, I want to shoot something here so bad. So I was like combing through high school ideas, like my high school experience. And I remember that I didn't win a superlative, and I was really like salty about that. Um, there wasn't even one for like filmmaker, which I feel like I could have won, but I don't know. They didn't have that as a category, so I was always salty about that. So then I was like, how can I use like superlatives as a way to tell a story? And so I just thought about like how I was feeling that moment of like, oh, my peers don't even see me as this thing that I feel like I so am. Like I'm so this thing, and like I wasn't voted for anything. So it's like that feeling of needing to be put in a box almost, or like needed to be um seen as what you want, like what you're working so hard for. So I wanted to like create that feeling. And then also while I was working as a PA, I felt like for some reason I was like, I'm behind. I'm not doing enough. I'm not like doing enough work to get where I want to be. And I should be doing this and I should be doing that. And like this feeling of just not doing enough. So I wrote this story about like kind of a girl trying to prove herself to her peers and to herself that she knows what she wants to do, even though she really doesn't. Um, and this feeling, this like need for her to find something before she graduates high school, like before she goes to college. Like she doesn't know where she wants to go to college. She doesn't know what she wants to do. So it's like I need to figure this out and like people need to see me as something. So I kind of wrote it off that and then I do comedy, I do improv, stand-up sketch. So I wanted to do comedy, wanted to do something funny. And I think her trying all the different superlatives and being terrible at them is pretty fun to watch.
So
So,
I meant to ask this as my first question, but I
Mhm.
want to know how you got into film in general.
Oh yeah.
What's your background and how'd you find this lovely medium?
Yeah, so I did child acting, like commercial work, and then a lot of student films because I live close to the college that I now go to, Ithaca. And so I was always doing acting and that kind of thing and theater. Um, but I also really liked to write. I wrote a book in high school. I was always like kind of writing stories and characters. And my little brother and I, we do like little performances and sketches and improv performances. So when it came down to like picking a degree, um, and like wanting to do more storytelling, this is so hard because I just always have loved, it's always been a part of me. You ask anyone I know, and they'll be like, yeah, she's always been filming and writing and creating characters. So I don't know, it's just like always been what I've wanted to do.
Mhm.
Every project, if there's an option to do a film, that's I'm picking that option. So I don't know, it's just always been my dream, always something that I'm passionate about. I love telling stories. I love picking pieces of the world and how I view them and just like sharing feelings through that medium. And I think it's so impactful because I feel like everyone watches TV and film. So I think a way to really leave a mark and impact is just like creating that medium that's so accessible. So I don't know. I've always done it. I've always liked it. But I did start as like a child actor, so I was always surrounded by sets um and cameras and wanted to get involved in that.
Yeah, amazing. So, I actually know the answer to this question because you told me when I called you to let you know that you got into the festival. That's right, people. We call our filmmakers to let them know we got
It
in.
was pretty awesome. It
It
was
was pretty.
awesome. I was
What
jumping in my apartment. It was really fun.
what
All my
was
roommates were like, "What? What's happening?"
what was the first feeling that you had when I called you and told you?
Uh, Relief. This film was a journey to make. Making a high school comedy. It's not as popular in film school to make, a high school film, a coming of age, a comedy, something that's more commercial rather than indie or experimental. Because I've done experimental films through college too, but like my medium is comedy. I love making comedy, and so it got a lot of backlash, and so for me, like it was a relief that it
Backlash.
found its audience.
Oh my God.
It found the people that understand and like accepted it for what it was. So in my mind, I felt immediate relief. I was like, thank goodness. Like there's other people that love comedy and coming of age because it's just a very almost looked down upon medium as well. Just
Coming of
like
age?
coming of age, I guess, like in at least for my experience. Maybe it's just my
I
personal
don't know.
experience.
I don't know what's going on in Ithaca College, but
No,
yeah, but
my professors were super supportive. There was some like people that just like did not like my film, but hey, I was just really excited and I was also excited for my cast and crew because they put in so much work. We did originally the script was a 30 minute. So we shot 30 minutes, a 30-minute script in 4 days. So they put in the time, they put in the work, the energy. We had an entire, oh, am I glitching?
yeah, just a little. Hold on.
No. Why
It'll
am I frozen? Oh,
okay.
okay, there we go.
There you go.
We had an entire character get cut from the story. There's another character that isn't even in it anymore. So it went through a lot of changes. So I was just really relieved and I was really excited to tell my casting crew that all of their hard work was being recognized. So
Yeah.
thank you. Very excited.
We are so excited. So anyway, the question that I was going to ask was that I already know the answer to is what was the casting process like? Where did this film is really it really leans on the strength of its
Yeah.
performances. So where did you find these people?
So Tommy, who plays Nolan, is in American High Shorts, which is at American High where I worked. So I had already known him through watching those reels and the TikToks, and then also knew him from just like working in the same building all the time. He also has done work in the films, has like small speaking roles in a lot of their Hulu films as well. So I already knew that I really wanted him involved in the film. And I just think his character as I was writing and like refreshing like jokes. A lot of them I was refreshing after we had cast him just to like fit his style. Um, and like putting in different pieces. And then for the rest of the casting, we used Backstage, but we also sent out obviously forms throughout our entire school. and we got tapes. And I had a casting director. My casting director is Kate Berry. She's done a lot of assistant directing work with me too, in the theater side of my other degree. And so we looked through the tapes, and I really looked for someone that was kind of newer. Like we looked at a lot of freshman tapes just because as a director, I really love that like spontaneity that the freshman actor, especially Juliana, she was bringing like a lot of fresh new choices to her tape. And also I looked at facial expressions because I think with comedy, like so much of it is just like how much you can change your face. So I kind of watched her tape and just saw like the different expressions she was using and how I was like that would really fit the chaos that Rose deals with. And also, she was just super nice. Like, I called her, I also called when we casted, and she just was super excited about it. This was her first project here at Ithaca College. So I was really excited to have like her first experience also be a really good one because I know like freshman year, it's really intimidating to like step into all these different sets. So it was really exciting to be like able to guide her through that process. And then Adamantia, who plays Rebecca, she has been in my films since high school. We actually went to the same high school. So she was in my like high school films, and I just knew I wanted like as my senior thesis, I was like, I have to have her in this film because she's been in like my starter films that I made when I was like
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. I
No, I'm frozen again.
oh my
I
God.
can see myself frozen, and that's like the worst part. Okay, there we
Yeah.
go. I
There
don't
you go.
like
You're
that.
back, kind of. Almost. There you go.
Is it working?
I think you're back. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, the casting process was a mix of a mix of things for me as a director. I really wanted someone that was going to have fun with the role, and we were paying our actors because I think it's really important. Um, and also I think that like they play a huge role in the set. So I wanted to make sure that we had like we are paying them. They're going to be here. And we were able to do rehearsals before and kind of go through the script. Because I come from a theater background too for directing. My other degree is in theater studies with a focus in directing. So a lot of the like process that I had was theater trained. So I wanted to have rehearsals and be able to like talk through the script with them. So yeah, it was
Mhm.
fun.
That's actually I was about to ask you like what's your directing style? But I guess that's
Yeah,
right. It's like so I guess I would change
it's
the question of like did you in your directing style like was did you first of all, how was like the shooting process? What was you said 30 pages in 4 days. How did
yeah.
that happen? And then
My producer, Jackie. Um, the process was insane. I met with Jackie in like July. And we knew we wanted to film early in the semester where people weren't going to be burnt out. So we picked September and like the first week of October because we were like, we want to be like the first or second set that people are on, fresh, excited. Everyone's like off of summer, hyped for filmmaking. Um, and so Jackie and I like had to really nail down the schedule. Actually, it was mainly her. And then I sat with my DP, Leia, and we made the shot sheet for like everything and we did all that. So it was a lot of Jackie trying to organize. We also had an hour drive to Syracuse to the production studio in the morning. So it was like we were doing like long days. Um, and it was really coordinated with cars. We had a first team, second team, sh like skeleton crew that would stay longer. The rest of people would leave early, and we would get a hotel for these people. It was crazy. And then we had production meetings beforehand, leading up to. Oh my God, I'm like trying to also go back to this blur that was pre-production. Oh my God, what did we Wardrobe. A lot of my friends worked on this film too, and we all worked on each other's thesis. So it was kind of like a really fun thing to work with my friends and watch them be very creative and use their talents and like different skills. And some of them that like are not in film, my best friend Christina, like she's a speech language pathology major and she was doing our hair and makeup. So like I was like, kudos to you, Queen. Like I was watching my friends just like take on these roles and do them really well. So that was a lot of fun. Kaylee did our costuming. So so yeah, it was definitely a lot of just figuring out working parts. We had a really big crew as well. We had like 35 people because I wanted it to have like the actual amount of people that should be on a set. I wanted it to, because the amount of time we had, like, we had to have PAs, we had to have like every position, like every department had a PA or two PAs, which just like helped things fly by. Um, yeah, I'm trying to, oh my God, I'm like getting flashbacks right now. And then for me, like my directing style, I am from theater, but I like consider it more of like I'm an editor, really. I really think that actors, they know a lot of things that they want to bring into the character, and if they're doing their homework and they're reading the script, they I'm just editing it to fit the story.
Yeah.
So like I feel like I'm inviting them to a table and I'm just kind of like, okay, like let's see what you've gotten from the script. And also as a director and the writer, because I wrote this, I've read this script hundreds of times. I don't even know what's funny anymore. So to
So fucking
me,
true.
to me, the actor has the most fresh take on it, which the audience is going to have a completely fresh take on it. So when I'm sitting down and I'm asking the actor, like, oh, what did you pick up from the script? What are the things you're picking up? I'm essentially asking the audience because they're just as fresh as the audience will be when they watch the film. So to kind of clear my writer perspective, I like asking my actors, like, what are things you're picking up on? What are important moments to you? What are some thing like action verbs that you're thinking about for these scenes? Maybe even like what's something, a circumstance about your character that like you resonate with? Even just to like understand what they're picking up because I have written it all. So I understand what I understand.
Mhm.
So that's kind of the
Everyone,
process for
and
me.
everyone receives things differently. Comedy is so subjective. It's like
It is.
and drama
Ask me about
too.
the editing process because
Yeah,
that was probably the hardest part of this. Comedy has to be edited so tight or it's awkward. It's either awkward or it's funny. If the beats don't hit like comedy hits like when you're doing stand up, it just seems like they said something weird
yeah,
and we don't know if we're supposed to laugh. The other thing I learned through the editing process was how, like, as a director, I didn't get enough reaction shots because the person saying something funny, sure, that's funny, but the audience doesn't know how to react unless you tell them. So, like, if I react like that's weird, then the audience is gonna be like, that's weird. But if the other character reacts like, oh, this is just part of the world and this is how this person is, then we are siding with the character. So it was like really interesting to realize that I needed more of like how the other character reacts to this funny thing to help the audience know when to laugh. It was really interesting. Like editing was, my editor Liam was amazing, but we definitely it was a learning process for both of us. So.
so quickly, because we're wrapping
Oh,
up,
yes.
what is one thing you would tell yourself, like Julia guessed before she
Sport?
directed most likely to, or like when you would just started making films?
Ooh. Um, I think for both, I would tell just make the story that you want, have fun with it, and don't think so much about the perception of the film. Don't let that determine your decisions, but
Yeah.
also like be open to critique. I think I was open to critique. We did get rid of an entire character, sadly, but I was open to that, and so like being open to that allowed me to like make the film quicker. But I do think that um a lot of it is just like make the film you want to make, have fun with the film that you want to make because Like I would definitely go back right now and do it again because it was stressful, but it's like why I do it. You know, it's fun. And so just I would tell like me going into this process just like have fun with it and spend time with the people that you're working with and just like not think about perception of the film, more of like, do you feel like you learned something through this? I think that's what I'll carry with into my next film that I do too, is just like, what can I learn from this? Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
amazing. So let people know where they can find you on the socials.
Oh, you can follow my social is Julia Guest One on Instagram and TikTok. And then for the film, it's most likely to underscore film on Instagram. So yeah, check those out.
So I want to thank you so much, Julia.
Thank you for having us in the
Of
film
course, of
festival.
course. As a reminder, Most Likely To is playing on July
13th for the
13th.
second
I think I might have
day.
said 10th before. So 13th
We're the second day.
at 7:45 p.m. at the Village East by Angelica Theater
And
Cinema.
we will be there.
And
So
everyone's going to be there.
come
So
say hello.
pull up,
Yeah,
say hello.
hello.
All right. Okay. Bye.